Hello, I'm Cheryl Hawkins. Welcome to Solutions, the series that highlights the incredible work that nonprofits do every day to help solve problems in our communities. On this edition of Solutions, we're looking at an organization that helps girls become the best they can be. Community Bridges empowers girls from diverse backgrounds to become exceptional students, positive leaders, and healthy young women. The video you're about to see tells the story of how Community Bridges empowered one young girl to become a successful young woman who gives back to her community. Let's take a look.
I actually started Community Bridges when I was in middle school. At the time, I was extremely shy. I lacked a lot of self-confidence, and the moment I joined, I felt like I was welcomed into the program with open arms. Just having that safe space. Growing up, I feel like I didn't have as many Latina role models until I came to CB through my mentor as well as Miss Marianne.
My first cohort, I had 3 girls, and it must have been going really well because the next year I had about 20. And I just remember Rosalie always having this positive attitude and always just smiling. And I got to see Rosalie grow up. I had always dreamt of our CB girls one day leading the organization.
It's going to be good. Vamos a jugar un juego, okay? We're going to play a game. Right now at Community Bridges, I facilitate program not only at John Lelick Elementary School, but also at Tacoma Park Middle School. Working with my community, I can understand what some of our girls are going through, whether that is struggles or just like hardships that may be going on, to be able to be a listening ear. They might not have as much resources as other students their age, so it is very important to lend a helping hand, whether that is through mentoring, college, or even these after-school programs. Like, it is so essential for these girls to have these times to interact with one another and just build up on those social, emotional. ¿Cuál es la misión de Community Bridges?
To encourage young girls like us to be brave.
Ayudar a las niñas.
And I help them to not feel stressed. To inspire girls to feel forward.
To encourage girls to be themselves.
I've seen so many of our girls blossom from being super quiet to now just talking a lot during program, participating.
For Rosalie, to see her facilitating, to see her building relationships with this, new generation of elementary school girls, for me, that's what success looks like. It's like one of those drop the mic moments. Okay.
CB has changed my life so much. Them instilling the importance of higher education. Now I graduated from college and I'm here also working. I honestly am very thankful for CB and just all the opportunities they've given me throughout the years.
And now joining me in the studio to talk about the work of Community Bridges is Shannon Babe Thomas, Executive Director of Community Bridges. For over 20 years, Shannon has been a leader in the nonprofit industry and has served as Executive Director of Community Bridges for 8 years. Prior to joining Community Bridges, she led the Membership Initiatives Department at the largest Girl Scout Council in the country. Shannon is a civic leader and believes in being involved in her community. Shannon, welcome to Solutions.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. I'm always happy to hear about programs that serve girls. You know, we've always been left out for so long. So besides the Girl Scouts, Big Sisters, there weren't always a lot of organizations that serve girls. So I'm glad to be here and talk with you about Community Bridges. So let's start by sharing with us how Community Bridges came to be. What's their history?
Yeah, well, Community Bridges started in 1997. Our founders, Naomi Nim and Mary Freeman, saw that in Silver Spring the community was changing. Immigrant families were moving in, and they felt that there needed to be an organization that could help connect, especially girls, to school, to home, and their community. And Community Bridges was born. We started with serving just middle school girls. But within the first year, we realized we actually need to start with girls when they're in elementary school and be with them during that pivotal time from elementary school to middle school. And later, then we decided we really need to stay with our girls through high school. So today, we're a 9-year continuum from 4th grade through 12th grade, and then I say also beyond.
That is awesome, because this is what this show is all about. People seeing challenges in the community and coming together with a solution. So for those ladies to see that these young girls moving into the community needed help was really good. And so I applaud them for that. So what is unique about the mentoring services that Community Bridges provides versus other organizations like Big Sisters or Girl Scouts or something like that?
I think what's unique about Community Bridges is the holistic wraparound support that we offer. Like I said, when girls start with us in 4th grade and they continue with us until they're in 12th grade, we really get to know each individual girl and each individual needs that she has and empower her to not only serve in her community, do well in school, but then think about her future, and then we follow her into college.
That's amazing. You know, I always think about when I was in high school and the guidance counselors, you know, they really didn't guide me onto where I should go, you know, with my future. And I always said I'm going to come back and be a guidance counselor. Never did, but I'm always happy to hear about people helping young people find their way. You know, that's so important. So tell me about you, your background. I know you're with the Girl Scouts, spent a lot of time there. How did you come to Community Bridges?
Yeah, so, well, I mean, after college, I worked at the Girl Scouts. I thought, you know, that's back when we opened the paper to see our jobs. And I was like, oh, the Girl Scouts.
You don't remember.
I was a Girl Scout, I can do that. So I started working there, and shortly after I started, I got to know the CEO, Jennifer Hayes, pretty well. And she said to me, I really see for you a future in the nonprofit sector.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
She was my mentor, right?
Yes.
She saw something in me that I wasn't ready to see in myself. And she said, for you to do this, you need to understand all aspects of the nonprofit, from development to finances to volunteer. And if you embrace all of it and learn it all, you really can have a career in this industry. So I got to that point in my career, I was ready for that next step. I wanted to serve locally, I wanted to do something closer to home, but I wanted to have a big impact. And at the time the executive director was leaving, I knew a friend who knew the board members, I applied, and here I am. And she was the first person to call. I called and said, hey, I got the job, look at this.
Wow.
And I've been here ever since, and I would not regret any of it.
Wow, and that was getting the job as the executive director?
Yes.
Wow, that is fantastic. They're so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me about the specific programs at Community Bridges.
So we offer an array of programs, but the umbrella program, or we say all girls come to us too, is called our CB Girls program. That's our after-school program where we're going directly into the schools that we work with and serving the girls. Each month has a theme, from civic engagement, cultural identity, to Women's History Month, and they're learning with each other and developing in a safe space. We say whatever happens at CB stays at CB, so that the girls feel comfortable sharing and getting to know one another. Once they've been part of that program, we layer on top of that additional programs. One is our mentoring program, and girls can apply after they've been in our program for at least 1 year to have a mentor. That's a woman from the community who's volunteering for at least a year-long commitment, and they're matched. Then when the girls move into high school, we layer on top of that the College Access and Success program. It's really a comprehensive program where we're working one-on-one with the girl to determine first, what is college, like what are your college options, to the application, to financial aid, to acceptance, and actually helping them get on campus. Next, we have our family resources. So we know for our girls to really think about their future, their basic needs have to be met. So we're reaching out to the families to say, what are those needs? For a lot of our families, that's food access, gifts at the holidays, renter's assistance. So we're connecting them to providers to be able to provide the food, the gifts, the renter's assistance applications, and helping them to make those needs be met. And the last program we call our pilot program, and it's not really a pilot anymore, so I need to come up with a better name. But that's where we're watching girls in elementary school and the beginning of middle school where they might have academic challenges. And we're doing baseline academic testing to see where are they for their age, and could there be an underlying learning disability that they're not aware of. Once we determine where they are academically, we're working with Weinfeld Education Group to actually do parent advocacy on behalf of our parents and with us to ensure that our girls have access to education resources that they need. The 15 girls that have been in this program so far, all at this moment have IEPs.
Mm-hmm. And IEPs, for the viewer who may not know what that means.
An individualized education plan, which means they have been diagnosed with a learning disability and they're getting extra resources in their day-to-day school.
Mm-hmm. So how do you choose what schools to go to be in? How did you choose it?
That's a really great question. And I think for us, the importance is that we're in elementary schools that feed into middle schools, that feed into high schools. And we really are looking at girls that are not in other after-school programs, that don't have the financial resources to be in other after-school programs that there's no cost for girls to join our program. Mm-hmm. So once we identify those schools, working with the counselors and administrators to help us identify those girls, make those connections. And there's a lot of word of mouth. Once a girl's in our program, she's going to tell her cousin, her neighbor, her sister, and then they all want to join.
Right. So they're after school. Do they go every day? Is it 5 days a week?
That's another great question. It is 1 day a week per school. Okay. So we'll be at one elementary school on Monday, another one on Tuesday, another one on Wednesday, another one on Thursday. We don't have any programs on Fridays. That's a day we do field trips and other things with all of our girls combined.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. So how, if I'm a parent, I have a daughter, I want her to be in this program, how do I find out about it? How do I get her in?
Well, you could go to our website, so communitybridges-mt.org, and reach out to us. If we're not already in your school, definitely give us a call. If it's on our radar, we'll let you know that we're not there this year, but it's slated to be there next year. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is, developing our resources and being able to expand. And we have an idea of where we're going and when we're going there. But certainly, if we're already in that school, reach out to us and we'll help get connected to our after-school program.
So does the school also work to guide the girls to you?
Yes.
Because they know you're there.
They do. The counselors at the school are our #1 partners. Okay. We work with them at the beginning of the school year to say, what day of the week are we going to meet there? They help to say, these are a list of girls we feel like would be a great fit for your program. Before we ever start program, we go in during the school day and we do a recruitment lunch. Okay. So we bring in information about the program, we bring pizza, we talk with the girls, and then they take the enrollment forms home to their parents to say, I really want to join this program. Can I be part of it?
Yeah. And what if the parents don't know anything about it? How do you make them feel comfortable about, letting their daughter come?
We do a parent information session, so parents can come and ask any questions. And this year, before having this session, we actually had parents submit questions. So we knew ahead of time what questions they had, what information they wanted to know to make themselves feel more comfortable letting their daughters join. The session was in Spanish, Amharic, and English.
Wow. Very nice. Mm-hmm. So tell me about your staff. How many people work with you, and do you have volunteers?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have 11 full-time staff.
11.
We have 4 AmeriCorps members, 1 AmeriCorps Vista, and then we have right now about 48 mentors and an additional about 40 volunteers to help us. I say episodic volunteers. They help one day, they help around the holidays, they help at our career summit, they help just when they can and when we have a need.
Mm-hmm. So your staff members, are they going into the school or they're working in your office? They are going into the school.
Correct. Yeah, they're at our office during the day. So we have every Monday, all the team comes together. We are much team oriented. So if I need something, somebody else needs something, we're going to work together and make that happen. So we say what's ahead for the week? What do we got going on? And then every afternoon, the program staff leave to go out to the schools to run the program.
What qualifications do your staff members have to be able to go into the schools to work with the girls?
It's a great question. 1, they have to have their bachelor's, so all of our staff have at least their bachelor's. Many of them do have their master's as well. Work in positive youth development. So even if they've done youth work before, but they've never done the positive youth development approach, all of our staff go through positive youth development before they start working, or training before they start working with our girls.
Fantastic. So how do you match the girls with the mentors? What's that process like?
It's magic. And I don't know how we do it every year. Magically, it works out so perfectly. And I think that's because before a mentor is ever matched with a girl, the first thing we do is 3 interviews. And I know that sounds like a lot, and they're on Zoom, so we're not talking like you have to come into our office 3 times. But the reason we do that, and it's with 3 different staff members, is to really get to know that mentor. Like, where did she go to school? What are her interests? What does she do in the community? So we can match her best with a girl that has those same interests and same desires, and it's just really getting to know them. So I say it's like, it's an interview, yes, but it's really like, how can we get to know each other really, really well so I can make that match be successful.
Okay.
The next step is they go through several days of training, and those are all on Zoom as well, because again, our mentors we know are busy, but it's really important that they get trained on positive youth development, they get trained on how do they work with the families, and what is our approach. Because if you're gonna be a mentor for Community Bridges, you have to understand Community Bridges, our mission and our approach. After they've been through all that training, we then do the matching ceremony, and it is a lot of fun. All the mentors come, all the mentees come, we like clap, match them up, they get to know each other, and then they set goals for themselves for the remainder of the year.
And then the mentee and the mentor, they meet then once a week. They meet together at the school.
Not necessarily at the school. They, at that time when they're matched, they come up with an agreement of how they're going to stay connected and what they're going to do. So if one is like, how are they going to communicate? Some mentees, and still a lot of our youth, would prefer to text. And that's okay, right? Like if you tell your mentor, you know, like I feel most comfortable texting back and forth, then that's what we're gonna agree to. Or she might say, you know what, I feel more comfortable communicating through WhatsApp. Do you have WhatsApp? Yeah, let's download it. So they come up with an agreement of how they're gonna communicate. Then they come up with goals of what they wanna accomplish during the year. Some of our mentees might say, you know, I really want to go visit some colleges I haven't seen. And the mentor's like, great, I can take you to University of Maryland. I can take you to Georgetown. Let's come up with those goals. Nice. You may have another mentee who said, you know, I've just really never tried some food options or going to a museum. So that's more the mentee's goals. So once those goals are established, they're able to set what they're going to do and when they're going to meet and how often.
Awesome. So how does, at the end of the year, what's the assessment? How do you determine whether it was good, it worked, it didn't?
We don't wait till the end of the year because that could be too long.
Yes.
We do monthly assessments.
Okay.
It's a really quick report that both the mentor and the mentee fill out. So one, we're checking how often have you guys communicated, what have you done this month, but most importantly, we're able to report how many hours of positive mentoring relationship we had. So last year we had 1,280 hours of mentoring happening.
Wow.
Yeah, so we want to know, and if after the first month hours aren't coming in, then we got to intervene and find out, well, why is that happening?
That is fantastic, but we're going to take a short break right now and we'll be right back.
My mom and dad did not go to college, so having American children was a big deal. You're gonna go to college, you're gonna help the family out. But 11th grade, you know, getting all these different mails from colleges and stuff, it became an actual reality. So they didn't really know how to deal with that because they've never done it before.
We know that the college process is difficult for any student who's applying. So we especially know for our students whose parents have not been through that process before, it's critical that we're there to support them through that process.
It was really overwhelming because of all the paperwork that I had to do, but with Community Bridges helping me be on top of my game, meet deadlines, helping with my essays, resume, I was like, okay, I got this.
She used to dance and dream of a better life, a brighter future, with nutritious food to eat, a chance to learn, to get an education, and do incredible things. Today, thanks to Children International and friends like you, she dances for the world. Together, we give children in poverty a chance to set their sights high and achieve their dreams by ensuring that they have access to health care, education, life skills, and more, so they can grow, thrive, and believe in themselves.
Gracias. Gracias.
Learn more about Children International and join us in our life-changing work at children.org today.
Welcome back. I'm Cheryl Hawkins. You're watching Solutions, the series that highlights the great work that nonprofits do in our communities. On this episode, we're talking about Community Bridges, and my guest is Shannon Babe Thomas, Executive Director of Community Bridges. So Shannon, let's talk a little bit about the College Access Program. What is it, and how are the girls guided in the program?
Well, it's a truly comprehensive college access and success program. So we're starting with the girls in their junior year and helping them first put class selection during their junior and senior year to make sure that the classes they're taking is really on path for where they want to go to college and what they want to study in college. We're also looking at during their junior year, are there summer learning opportunities that will help enhance their college application? We partnered with NIH and a lot of other internship programs where we'll guide our girls to take those programs during the summer, again, to help their college application. So junior year, after they finish that summer, becomes really, really intense. We're working one-on-one with each of our girls to, one, understand what colleges are you going to apply to, how do you write the college essay, how do you start up the Common App, how do you ultimately apply?
Yeah.
After they apply, then how do you do financial aid? After you do financial aid, how do you apply for scholarships? Then once the girls get their offer letters, their financial aid packages, we're looking at what is the best choice, the best fit, what do they want to do, and helping the families guide through those conversations and decisions. And even if there is a school that they really want to go to, and we're talking there's maybe just a couple $1,000s difference that's holding them back, we sometimes will do an appeal to see if the college can cover those last few $1,000s so that the girl can step on foot on campus.
That is an awesome service. It is a nightmare trying to get into college. People don't realize that filling out the applications and financial aid and all of that can be very confusing, and most times parents don't know how to navigate through that. So that is a tremendous service. And so I think I wanted to know too, when you say the mentors and the girls, they set up the time on their own, how much time are they required to spend with each other on each session?
Well, we say 4 to 8 hours a month.
A month, okay.
Yeah, so again, it might be that they're really busy, but they can find a Saturday, and that Saturday they're going to a museum and maybe they spend 8 hours together. Or maybe they're doing 1 hour a week and they get to 4 hours. So it's really dependent on the mentor and the mentee and what they agree to.
Okay, and it's another great thing that you're helping them with classes they need to be in to get into college. A lot of kids don't get that. They want to go to college, but they haven't been guided. You need to take this class and this class, or else you're not going to do good in math in college.
Right, right.
You know, those things are really, really important. So in preparing the girls, you helping them to get a sense of what they think they'd like to study in college. That's another thing. You know, sometimes you don't know what you want to study. You know, you're an adult. You still don't know what you want to study. How do you help them try to target that in?
Well, we start that back in elementary school. So career exploration is done every month. It's always integrated into our program. And then once the girls hit middle school in 8th grade through 12th grade, they're eligible to come to our Career Summit. So our Career Summit happens in the spring at Montgomery College, and it's really focused on those unique careers that sometimes I didn't even know existed when I set this up, and I go, wow, that's a really cool career. Right. I wish I knew that when I was younger. So the girls can see that they might be interested in medicine and they might be interested in STEM, but maybe there's a specific career in that pathway that they can say, you know what, I'm not gonna be a doctor, but that sounds really cool and I feel like I'd wanna study that. But the most important thing is we usually have a panel of women who have oftentimes had a curvy road to get to their journey and where they're at. So the girls can see that you might not study in college ultimately what you're gonna do. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to take a detour. Ultimately, as long as you're happy and you're thriving, that's what's most important.
And that's a great thing to share with them, because some people, they major in an area and they get out, can't find a job, and they're depressed because I can't even get a job, spend all this money going to college. But college is not necessarily, like you're saying, to just go and get a job in what you've studied. It should be preparing you to expand your thinking about what you can do. Right. You know, with what you've learned. So that's fantastic. So if a young girl, how do they identify colleges they may be interested in? Do they know them, or are the mentors guiding them to look at certain colleges and think about them?
So our college access team is definitely guiding them. We have relationships with colleges and a lot of local colleges like Trinity Washington University, University of Maryland, Montgomery College, and obviously the ones that they've heard of. But we also have relationships with colleges in other parts of the country. So we encourage the girls to, one, look into them. You know, if they're going to offer a good financial package, we want the girls to consider. But we also say, you know, dream big. We don't ever say that she shouldn't apply to a college, regardless if we think she's going to get in or not. We always encourage the girls to apply wherever they want to apply. So we say, put it on your list. You know, think big, dream big. But most importantly, we're starting when they're in middle school doing college tours. So we are trying to do a lot of the local colleges, as well as we'll do colleges further away. We took girls to PACE and NYU earlier this year.
You did. I was going to ask you, do you take them to schools out of the area?
We
That's
do.
Fantastic.
Because it's really important. And we've got girls this year that are aspiring to go to college to study theater.
Yeah.
So that's where you need to be, is either in
Yes.
New York or maybe LA. But
Yeah.
if they can see themselves in New York, and we had one girl that's a senior this year, so she ended up applying to colleges in New York. She gets there and she goes, wow, I really can see myself here.
Oh, wow.
And it was her first time ever going to New York. So if we didn't give her that opportunity, she might not have really known if that's really the right fit for her.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you mentioned that you have a tutoring program for them. Is that done in their schools? Where is that done?
Well, MCPS does offer tutoring for girls, but if we have girls that are in, like, say, AP Cal, and they really need extra assistance as they're getting ready for the AP exam, we have some amazing volunteers who have that expertise, and we'll connect the girl to have a tutor to help her to achieve the exam grade, like, score that she wants, but also just do well in class.
Can you share a success story that comes to mind with one of the girls?
I'm going to share a success story. I do have a lot, but I'm going to share one, and it's not of just one girl, but it's of two girls. So they're twin sisters. We know that a lot of our youth struggled during the pandemic. It was hard to do online learning. It was hard to continue learning. They were two that were struggling before the pandemic, but the pandemic really hit hard. And they did not pass their English class, and they really came to a crossroads of saying, is completing high school for me? And we had an intervention. The mentor, their mom, a lot of us staff all got on a Zoom and we're going, you're not kidding. Like, yes, you're graduating high school. And you're going to think about college. And they're like, well, we're not ready to think about college. But we're like, you're at least going to graduate high school. So I'm happy to say that they not only graduated high school, they are both at Trinity Washington University, thriving.
Wow.
They're in their sophomore year. They are president and vice president of their class. So I just have to say that not only did they graduate, but they're thriving. And they will both attest that it's the support that they got from Community Bridges and the encouragement that we believed in them. It gave them the sense that they could believe in themselves.
That is a fantastic story. Thank you for sharing it. So how is Community Bridges funded? Where do you get your funding?
So we get some funding from the county government. So we get funding from HHS. We get funding from local family foundations. We get funding from individual donors, a little bit from corporate, and then we have a big gala every year, which is another part of our budget.
And where do you see your organization going in the future? Do you have a strategic plan to where you want to go? Where is that?
Well, we're in the process of doing our strategic plan right now and forecasting the next 3 to 5 years. But I will say, when I started the organization in 2016, we were at a little over $400,000 budget, only serving 160 girls. Today, we are just under $1 million, serving 550 girls. So we've grown pretty significantly, and I think for us, we know that there's just so much more that we can do and so many more girls that we can serve. So our goal is to continue growing within Montgomery County. So when I started again, we were only in Down County, Silver Spring, Tacoma Park, and now we are all the way up to Gaithersburg.
Oh, nice.
So we have a really good footprint in the county, and I know that with support, we can continue to grow.
Fantastic. And one last thing I wanted to ask, who are some of the partners you work with in the county, I guess?
We have some amazing nonprofit partners, and I'm sure I'm going to forget some of them, but I'm just going to highlight a few for you because I talked earlier about food access. So Rainbow Community Development Center is our #1 partner in that work. And another great partner is, youth mental health is a thing that everyone's looking at, and our youth need a lot of support. We partner with Every Mind, not only at some of our schools, but they provide youth mental health first aid training to all of our mentors and all of our staff every year.
That's fantastic. Shannon, this has been absolutely delightful talking with you. Thank you for being here. I'd like to thank my guest, Shannon Babe Thomas, Executive Director of Community Bridges, for being on this episode of Solutions. If you'd like more information about Community Bridges or want to know how you can help, visit their website at communitybridges-md.org, or you can call them at 301-585-7155. I'm Cheryl Hawkins. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for more Solutions.